Happy Tuesday, Tax Talk Tuesday. Hello, my fabulous peeps on. Wish I can have everybody to kind of see. Put my little glasses on, y'all. I got some new glasses. This is my my favorite color, right? My blue glasses on. So come on in. So we're talking about today. This is Tax Talk Tuesday, and so today, those of you that are on these wonderful platforms, YouTube, Instagram Live, welcome. So glad that you are here today. As I talk about, don't pay your kids an allowance. Do this instead, right? We hear about we're paying our kids an allowance, but guess what it does when we pay our kids an allowance? They don't understand the value of money, right? It gives a false sense of reality that, here's something every week. This is to put in your pocket. But once you can do this instead, and this is something that is legal and it's beneficial to you as a parent, especially if you have a home-based business. That's what I talk about. So for those of you that don't know, I am Teacher Melanie. I help moms make money from home so they can design the life that they want by understanding the money game. And money game meaning that how to properly invest, to save, protect your income, which is your greatest asset, and also how to make sure that your money does not end with you, right? Teaching you the money game. And as you're learning the money game for both your personal and your business, now you're able to teach your children, right, in your business. Because now there's the practical side. They see how money is being generated, how money is being earned, how to take that money that is being earned and utilize it to put back into the business, expand your portfolio, or just have an opportunity to do those things that you wanted to do, but now you work for it, everybody's plan, prepare for it, right? So really teaching financial literacy. And so when you have this ability of teaching your children financial literacy through the home-based business, but I want to share these things that you want to put in place as it relates to why you do not want to give your kids an allowance, but you want to do these things instead, okay? And so some of the things you want to do with your children as you hire them, and guess what? Even if they're like babies, you can still hire them. Okay, you can still be able to hire them. Now, you saw and I'm not a Drake fan and none of that, but I'm just like, this is what wealthy people do, right? Wealthy people get a financial education, they get a financial quote, and they have a financial game plan. Now, here's a game plan that Drake did. So the image, which is a bit, all right, I ain't judging, but it's kind of like creepy. Of his album with the dog with the red eyes, right? His 5-year-old son did that. So guess what he's able to do now? Take that, hire him, or a contract, pay him, right? Open up an account, and I'm going to talk about what type of account to open, because there's so many of those accounts. And now by the time he gets to in his 50s, he'll be a multi-millionaire, right? So it's the little things that parents that you can do sooner than later, right? So you're giving them a head start when it comes to their financial game plan. And so these are the things, right, you can do when it comes to paying your children or not giving them an allowance, okay? And so first thing is that hire them in your home-based business. First, you need to have a home-based business, and hopefully you do. If you don't, you're missing out a whole lot of benefits and just how you do life, right? Your rent, your mortgage, your phone bill, your utilities, your car, how you travel. If you don't have a home-based business, you can't write off those things. Even if you have your dream front of your 9 to 5, you want to also have a home-based business as well, because the system is made for you to be working, building up somebody's goals and dream, paying more taxes. That's what ends up happening. Or You have a business. Now you can leverage how you live life. That's the way the system is. Now you're able to keep more money, pay less taxes because now you can write things off, right? So when you are a business owner, okay, when you are a business owner, now you have the ability to have money work for you, more of it on top of that, because you can leverage. And so these are the things that I want you to do as it relates to not paying your child an allowance, right? But doing this instead. All right. Hello, Dr. Toya. So this is how you want to be able to leverage your wonderful chair. As I said, you're not giving them an allowance, but you're doing this instead. And so the first thing you want to do, as I talked about, you're having a home-based business. Okay. You have this home-based business. Now you have an entity in which now you pay them through the business. And why do you want to do that? Because hey, fabulous, blessings on you and praying for you, and your family is as well. Fabulous. Yes. So when you have this business, right, where you're hiring your children, so I want you to think about it this way. You already take care of them, right? Food, clothing, shelter, activities. But when you just do those things for them, you don't get any benefit. But if you still do those things and they pay for it, right? It's just the way the trail is going, right? There's an account you're paying. You're paying them a reasonable wage, right? You're not going to pay them $5 an hour. It has to be reasonable, all right? And then what ends up happening now, they have an account, right? And once you're able to do that, of course, you're in control of it, right? So they still do those activities or whatever it is that they're doing, but now you get a benefit. You can write this off as your business expense because you have hired them in your home-based business, right? That's why it's important to have an LLC or a sole proprietor or a partnership when it comes to that. Now, if you do a corporation and S corp, there's a little bit more things that has to be done. A family management has to be set up, okay, for that to happen. But there's always another way to skin a cat. Always another way. Hey, fabulous! It has been a hot minute. I hope and pray all is well with you, as well. So this is what needs to be able to happen. Hey, B, I need to get with you. I have not ignored you. When I remembered, I want you to text me, okay? Text me and remind me so we can schedule a time for it. We can get to connect, all right? So when you hire your children now in your home-based business, now you can leverage how you do life, okay? There's more money that could be kept because now you have an entity. Now you're still in control, right? You're not giving them this money when you do this. But the other side to this is now they have an earned income. You want to go ahead and open up a custodial Roth IRA, okay? A custodial Roth IRA. Now, this is the thing when you open up this custodial Roth IRA. I'm having a personal summer. This light making me hot. So when you open up this custodial Roth IRA now they're having earned income. They're starting on their retirement, right? By the way, they don't have to wait to have access to that money. They can still use it for school. They can use it to buy their first house. I know, right? They can use it to purchase their car, right? There's a lot more leverage with a Roth IRA as opposed to other types of retirement, but it's a custodial Roth IRA. Now, when you open up this account for them, I want you to think about what ends up happening, right? By the time they get to, just by doing a little bit now, right? A little bit now, by the time they get to, in our distinguished age, 50 or whatever the case may be, they can be multimillionaires. Honestly, they can be multimillionaires. Now, the things what I'm telling you, I'm not telling you I'm telling you these are things that I'm doing, that I have done and that I'm doing with my daughters. Okay. With my daughters. The other thing too is that, and I don't even have their thing, but I opened up a LLC for my daughters. Why did I do that? Because I needed for it to be, and by the time they're ready for their business, which they have now, but as they get older, they need to have these entities in place. Now their business is be considered aged. They've had it for a while, even though it might not be as active, but they've had it. And so lenders, investors will see that, oh, this corporation has been in business for a while. You know what? We want that. This is not, they didn't just open, right? So they see that longevity. They see that longevity. So this now allows them to look better on paper as well. And so when we do these things for our children, we set them up for success sooner than later. They don't have to wait until they're adults to get to learn these things. And they know, they listen, they understand when they're ready to ask for things, they understand what the money game, but we start putting these things in place, right? So we can have them to be more practical and understand that there is value. We work hard. Thanks for the love. We work hard. And so they have a better appreciation. And I tell you, it's so amazing to me when my kids get it. So let me see. So do you do it in their own names or create a business name? So depending on what state that you create the LLC in, right? Because some states, depending on their age, you cannot put it in their name, right? But you can set it up where their name is a part of in form of a trust, right? So it all depends. I used my daughter's initials in how they created it, and so they're structured of it. It belongs to them because then it's going to be transferred to them, because there's just certain states that just give you a little bit more benefits and protection, and you're not having to pay a whole lot. So you want to investigate which state that you want to choose. Like I think mine was Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin? Wisconsin, I think that's what it is. Or Nevada. Some of those states you do not have to pay taxes, and you do not have to be a resident of the state. So remember this, guys. You can open up an LLC in other states. You do not have to open up in the state that you're in, because sometimes the state that you're in is not beneficial for you. Maybe their fees are more. That's what you want to be mindful of. Their fees are more. And when you're starting out, you're not trying to pay a whole lot of fees whatsoever. Okay. So finding out those states where the fees are less, and their little state taxes where you don't have to worry about. I know, right? Thanks, Dr. Yes. So you really want to be mindful of that. Welcome, 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 Erica. So glad that you are here. As we are talking about, don't pay our children an allowance, but do this instead. And we're talking about hiring our children. And yes, this is something that is very much legal. You can find it in the IRS publication 929. You can also find it in the IRS publication 15 circular E as well, what talks about families hiring each other. This is a way that you can leverage. Yes, Delaware, Naomi, Nevada are some good states. Absolutely, they sure are as well. I'm trying to remember. Maybe that's the state. I think it is. I know it's a W that is opening. But yes, they are the cheapest, because there are some states where it's just like, oh my gosh, like Tennessee. Dr. Toya, Tennessee is expensive. Let me tell you, very expensive. Even just in their other entities that I have in there that I have to pay for, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to pull out of Tennessee. But needless to say, I have clients there as well. So that is just something to just be mindful on. Yes, exactly. Too expensive. Hey, fabulous. How are you, love? So glad that you are here in this space, as we are just talking about the importance of not giving our children allowance and hiring them, and just helping them to start businesses for themselves so they can start building on their not just on their retirement, because retirement is not an age, it's a number, right? So building up that number that they can be financially independent, that they can be millionaires, right? By just doing things sooner than later, right? Or the other side too is, if you have children, how many of you have children that actually work, right? Okay. You have children that actually have jobs. Do you know that if they um, save, maybe say if they're about 22 to maybe about doing it for maybe about 7 years, right? 7 or 8 years, and they're consistently saving $500 a month, okay, $500 a month, they will not have to save another penny until age 65. They would have more than two, over about 2 million, over 2 million they will actually have. Okay, they will actually have in place, right? So that's why I say it's so important that when they get their jobs or they have their business, that they have their investments. Okay, not just savings. Savings is good, right? That's for emergency, but having investment as well, because money needs to be working just as hard as they are working. All right, because money is a tool. And in order to understand the tool, you have to know the game. And so the game as it relates to compounding, because now money is going to be working for your children when you set up these different accounts. When it comes to their, yes, this is awesome. Yes, that business that thing up for them. Money now has the ability to be able to start working and compounding, right? We know, if you haven't heard of the rule of 72, right? This rule of 72 basically says this, that if you want to know how long it's going to take your money to double, think about what's the rate of return in whatever account. If you think of a traditional savings account, it's less than 1%. And you divide that by 72, that means it's going to take 72 years for that money to double, right? But if you're at a rate of return, maybe there is 6, right? Or 8 or 9 or 12, even some higher. And you to take that number and you divide it by 72, that lets you know how long it's going to take that money to double, right? And so that's why compounding, the good side, right? Not the compounding when it comes to credit card debt where it's like 19-20%. If it's that rate of return for investment, that's great. But when it comes to making sure money is working, right? You want to make sure that it is keeping up with inflation. Right, on average, inflation is like 5-6, depending on whether it's 7%. And if you're at a rate of return, what banks do, well, they give you less than 1%. They say, thank you so much. Now we're going to take your money and we're going to invest it into the global market, right? So you become the loaner instead of the owner, right? But they take your money and they only give you less than 1%. Highway robbery, right? So that's why we say that your money ends up lasting less. You end up losing money because now money is no longer working for you. It's working for somebody else. And so that's why I show you how you can take your money, right, and have it to be working for you, right? You invest it into the global market. You get rid of return for yourself and your family, your children. And now when it comes time, you have money that is growing. It's not dying. When it's sitting in a traditional bank, it's dying. The only purpose of really having a traditional bank is just for emergency, just something that you can access easily, right? If life happens, unexpected expenses, and not a whole lot. Everything else needs to be in some type of an investment as well, some type of investment. So that's why setting these things up sooner than later is important. Now, there are things that has to be in place when you do hire your children in your business. Right, there's a contract that needs to be in place. Description of what their task is going to be, documenting their hours, setting up an account where the money is being passed through. All right, all of those things need to be in place, that it's legit. Right, it's no longer just, okay, I'm just giving you this money. No, it needs to show documentation. It needs to show a paper trail, right? Because it is a business. It's not a side hustle where we're just doing things. We have to make sure, my people, that we set things up right and tight. All right, for ourselves and for our children, that we are really creating these entities, these legacy building businesses, that it can go on for generations and thereafter as well. So if you or anyone is interested, as I said, I teach a millionaire, help moms make money from home so they can design the life that they want to understand the money game. You can see in my link that I do 30-minute appointments to see where you are. And there is a free, right? Because I need to have skin in the game. right? But I do also offer my ebook, right? My home-based business ebook, and there's a lot of great little information that is in there. Some ideas if you don't know what type of business to start, and just also what type of entities as well when you're starting up, because you want to have a business bank account where you don't have to have any monthly fees. There, so the little tidbits that are in there as well, and different types of business numbers that you need that is outside of the EIN number as well. So if you're looking to get connected with me, make sure you go ahead. First of all, if you have not get on my calendar, not get on the calendar, but get on the complimentary my complimentary checklist. Went blank there. My complimentary checklist. Go ahead and get on that, sign in, get all that little information that I have so you can be a part of when I'm opening up classes, because I will be starting classes for your cherub as well as for my mom, so they can understand this money game properly, right? Really get to go through some things that's going to be coming up before the year is out. So I've had a lot of requests, and so I'm just fine-tuning a couple of things that's going to be happening, because it's about making sure that my mompreneurs, they are truly setting up things right and tight as well. Or if you're just like, I need help just having a business, right? I'm always looking for people in my business as well when it comes to just financial literacy, because as I said, it's caught, not taught. And we get caught working, grinding, and paying bills. And there's so much more to life once we understand the money game. So if that is you, or you know someone that is interested, share the information. Sharing is caring. And this is a passion for me. Why is it a passion for me? Because I didn't get it, and life happened. And life happened hard. Sued, bankruptcy, foreclosure, you name it, it happened. And had to rebuild from that. It was a process. But I thank God for the ability to go through and realize it wasn't the end, but it was the beginning of something great. Really and truly. And, God desires for us to be prosperous. God desires to be wealthy. And when we have plans and goals and dreams that we want to be in place, we can't afford to be broke. We cannot afford to be, right? We have to understand what it means to be good stewards, what it means when he talks about to have multiple streams of income. The Bible is so wonderful. The Bible is so wonderful. There is nothing that it does not address. And it talks about in Ecclesiastes 11 about having multiple streams of income. It talks about, how many times the Bible talks about money, right? It's so many times, but unfortunately we have a negative connotation. It's just like, if I get rich or wealthy, I'm going to lose my soul. Knowing that there are souls, hello, fabulous, that need you to be able to understand and prosper, right? Because he said he desired for you to prosper, even as your soul prosper and be in good health. That is what God desires for us to be in, that we can make an impact in the world. Why should the world make an impact when we have the ability to do great things and just be a blessing to so many people? Just to be so many people. So with that being said, just wanted to share that. If you have any questions as it relates to hiring your children or starting a home-based business, or just looking to get a financial audit, both for your personal as well as business, and just making sure that things are properly set up for you and your entity, let's connect. Let us connect. All right, my fabulous peeps. And you can always find me at teachermelanie.com. Go ahead. Get all this go to see all the goodies that are there. teachermelanie.com. And so with that being said, like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. I wanted to make sure I come on live today before my day end, because I was like, I'm coming on. I'm coming on live with that. All right, my fabulous piece. So can't wait to connect with you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.